All right, we'll take questions for Avalanche captain Gabriel Landeskog. Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Hey, Gabe. I kind of wanted to ask about how you thought Vegas responded in the third with their physicality, particularly the Reeves play on Graves and the Pacioretty play on Girard.
I don't know if you can call that physicality, to be honest with you. Reeves he's on a mission to hurt somebody there in the third, and that's what he goes out and does. And I'm sure the league will take a look at it. His intent to injure, and I'm sure they'll look at it. I think overall we played a good game. I thought we really set the tone strong in the first and followed it up with a good second. So, yeah.
Ryan O'Halloran, Denver Post.
Hey, Gabe, on the goal you scored, the first one from Makar, how impressed are you that Cale can find you all the way across the ice?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I was just trying to time it, and with his vision and his skill, I knew he kind of saw me. He made a great play. I didn't have to do much but put it in. So, great play by Cale.
Sheriff Dean, Mile High Sports.
Gabe, going into the second game on Wednesday, do you guys think you set the right message, not only by scoring 7 goals, but by not responding to, the things that were going on in the third period there at the end?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're going to play our game no matter what the score is. And I'm sure for them, they weren't happy with the way the game was going. And I'm sure they were trying to send a message for game 2, or I don't know. But overall, I think we played a good game. It's game 1. It doesn't mean anything going into game 2. We just got to follow it up and do the same thing again.
Mike Chambers, Denver Post.
Gabe, the top line obviously was on fire there with 5 goals, and Cale Makar had 4 points. If you could just talk about the top power play guys, and then also as a follow-up, if you could just comment on Nate's ridiculous second goal there, please.
Yeah, I mean, to answer the first part of the question, I thought Cale played a great game. He was dangerous every time he was out there, and I think overall our D-core did a great job of breaking the puck out, jumping up in the rush and creating 4-on-3s and things like that. It's our job to lead the team offensively, and that's what we try to do on a nightly basis. Nate has a speed burst in his pocket, and he used it on that goal. So, beautiful goal by Nate.
Rick Sadowski, NHL.com.
Hi, Gabe. If there was any question about you guys being rusty after being off for a week, you certainly got rid of that in the first period. You guys came out so quickly and carried it through the entire game.
Yeah. Listen, I think rest is a weapon, and especially this time of year. We played a lot of hockey, and I think the coaching staff has done a good job of managing our rest here throughout the week and making sure we're ready to go. We knew that they were coming off a 7-game series, 1 day of rest coming into altitude, and we want to make sure we had a fast start, and we did. Now we got to rest up a couple of days here in between and then get ready for Wednesday.
Last one here for Gabe. Brandon Cristal, KOA.
Were you surprised that Fleury wasn't in net at all, and do you expect to see him now the rest of the way?
I don't care who's in net, to be honest with you.
All right, thank you, Gabe. All right, we'll take questions for Avalanche defenseman Cale Makar. Ryan Bolding, Mile High Sports.
Hey, Cale, I was just wondering if you guys anticipated some of that physical aspect of the game from Vegas, and if you talk about as the lead goes up, how the extracurricular stuff's going to go on.
Yeah, I mean, we know teams' game plans against us are going to be to play physical, and at the end of the day, we just have to match that, or even bring it, kind of put it back on them as well. So, all the scrums and stuff, it is what it is. That they were trying to send a message for game 2, and I think we as a team know that game 2 is not going to be anything like the game was tonight. So we just have to be ready.
Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Yeah, Cale, what did you kind of see on that backdoor pass you made to Gabe on, I think it was the second goal? And can you just walk through that play?
Yeah, just I think, I don't know if it came off the boards, the first puck or whatnot, but no, I just tried to step down and saw the kind of shooting lane was a little bit full, and Landy made a great read to go back door, and I was able to find him. So yeah, and then he obviously put it in. So great goal.
Mike Chambers, Denver Post.
Cale, your goal was the 7th of the game, and it really didn't matter, but it must have felt good after all the ruts, all the rough stuff, and you capitalized there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously such a long power play. Us as both PP units, we know we have to stay in tune with it, regardless of who they're throwing out, if they're mixing it up and whatnot. So I think for us, and especially for me, I had a few giveaways at their line that I'll definitely need to be tuning up. But I think overall, we were able to get that one.
Ron Knabenbauer, Avalanche.com.
Hey, Cale, how much of that first 2 periods in your guys' offensive firepower was you guys maybe having a lot of rest and ready to go versus Vegas maybe being a bit tired, having played 2 days ago?
Yeah, I mean, to touch on what Landy said, obviously rest's a weapon, and we knew we had to have a great start tonight, and I think we did that. So it's just going to have to carry into game 2 for sure.
We'll take 2 more here for Cale. Arif Dean, Mile High Sports.
Cale, despite all the rough stuff that was going on there in the third period, you guys obviously sent a message on the scoreboard in your own way. Could you just talk about the importance of trying to stay away from all that stuff and just stick to obviously scoring goals?
Yeah, I think for us, we felt it coming, and like I touched on, I think in the first question, we kind of just have to either match that and just kind of ignore it. So they might up it in the next game, but we'll be ready for it.
And last one here, Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Yeah, Cale, is the way they kind of approach the third, is that anything you guys can use as motivation going into the next game and the rest of the series?
Yeah, I mean, for us, obviously, whatever we were up going into the third, we still don't want to give them an inch, but no, we knew that they were going to play physical, and we just have to be ready for it. And it's going to be, I think they're going to carry that through their entire game in the next few, so for sure.
All right, thank you, Cale.
Thank you.
We'll take questions for Avalanche forward Nathan MacKinnon. Mike Chambers, Denver Post.
Nate, just overall thoughts about the offensive explosion after the week-long break.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone took it serious, the break. It wasn't a vacation. Everyone was ready to go, and we had a great start.
Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Yeah, Nate, 2 things. First, can you walk me through the second goal you had where you got around Haig, and then also just what was your reaction from what you saw of the Reeves play on Graves there at the end?
Yeah, I noticed that he had a loose gap, and I gathered some speed below the puck and managed to get around. It was a great play by Donnie to kick it out, and I had the D in a tough spot and just kind of found the back of the net. And with Reeves, I didn't really see it.
All right, thank you, Nate. All right, we'll take questions for Avalanche head coach Jared Bednar. Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Hey, Jared, I wanted to ask, what was, I guess, just your general reaction to the way Vegas approached the third period and the way they chose to go about playing?
Not unexpected for me. It's a playoff series, 7 games. The game's out of reach, and they were going to come and play physical and try to finish all their checks. And so I think it's to be expected. I think our guys knew that coming into it. I didn't have a problem with the way they played when it comes to that. I guess the only play that I really didn't like, that was out of the context of the game, was the Reeves play on Graves when he's down. But besides that, I think there was some big hits thrown, clean hits. Some of them were, a little high and a little late. I think besides that, I didn't see anything that was too crazy for playoff time, except I didn't like that play with Reeves at the end.
Sheriff Dean, Mile High Sports.
Jared, I have a couple for you. On the Reeves play, do you is that something that you suspect we'll see supplementary discipline from the NHL? And number two, that 4-minute double minor that was rescinded. Could you just kind of give me your thoughts on that play and what happened there?
Yeah, so Reeves got a match penalty, so I'm assuming that they're going to look at that. The double minor, they thought it was a stick that caught Gerard, and he was, bleeding. So they right away mark it as 4. It's something that they can review. They reviewed it. It wasn't a stick. It was actually a reverse hit by Pacioretty, and in reality, it's a smart offensive play to protect the puck and reverse hit guys and create space, but he just catches Gerard high and gets him right in the face. So my problem with that call, which they don't get to go back and make a different call after it's called a high stick, it's just high. The same rules apply. When you're going to check someone, or if you're going to reverse hit someone, you can't just get him in the head, But that's a play that happened fast. They made the call right away on the high stick, and I thought they did a good job on that. Then they get to review it, but they can't go back and give them 2 for a high hit after they've already called the high stick. I don't think anyway. So I thought the officials did a pretty good job of making the calls. There was a hit when we second period, Carrier catches a guy in the corner, and they make the call and caught it and tried to keep the game in order. And I think the third just gets away because of the score.
Mike Chambers, Denver Post.
Jared, you got to be happy with how your team played after a week-long break, especially that top line with 5 goals.
Yeah, I love the way our team played tonight. Right away, out of the gate, skating, relentless puck pressure, great commitment to our checking game, capitalizing on our chances. I thought, the top line set the tone again, but our whole team was involved and playing well and skating well. And our talk before the game was we don't want to come out and wade into this thing. I thought, learning from the past, we discussed the San Jose series from a couple of years ago. We discussed the Dallas series and making sure that we were, using our legs to make a difference tonight, and getting physical with the opportunity, and just playing to our identity and turning it up a notch, because that's what it takes in the second round. So I give our guys a lot of credit. We kept playing the whole night, maybe a little lapse at the start of the third, which I think is just understandable. But guys continued to check and play the right way, and it was a good night from us.
Adrian Dater, Colorado Hockey Now.
Jared, can you discuss the decision to play Sampo Ranta tonight, and especially paired with Newhook?
Yeah, well, we've discussed Newhook in length already, and Sampo is a little bit of the same. I think great college career, goes to the American League, chips in immediately, makes an impact, scores a bunch of goals, has a physicality to his game, can skate. Joe and Chris liked what they see there, talked to Crow, liked what he saw, and then he comes up and gets in our practice, and he's a young guy, but he's big, he's strong, he's fast. I met with him on our systems. He seemed to understand them. I thought he was fantastic. You know what? He had a blunder on their goal. Him and Berkey both kind of got a little bit lost up there in D-zone coverage, and they found the back door. Could have been quicker to recognize that. A little bit of communication would have helped. Besides that, I thought he was on pucks in the offensive zone. He was physical. He skated well. He tracked well, responsible, didn't have any turnovers. I thought it was a real good night from him. When you take in that's his first NHL game, and it's against a real good team in Vegas and in the second round of the playoffs. So the moment wasn't too big for him, and we're going to need a lot of guys. And I thought the to give him a chance at home when I can control the matchup a little bit, see how he handles it. Is a good time instead of if we lose a guy or something as the series goes on, I could be inserting him later on for his first NHL game. So I wanted to get him into this series as early as I can, and then now we'll reevaluate and we'll make decisions for the second game, see how our health is, see how everyone's doing, and we'll adjust the lineup we think will give us the best chance to win on Wednesday.
We'll take 3 more here for Jared. Ryan O'Halloran, Denver Post.
Hey, Jared, how impressed were you with Cale Makar at both ends of the ice tonight?
Well, I thought he was fantastic. Yep, skating right away, heads up plays, defended well. I thought he was fantastic, start to finish.
Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Yeah, Jared, how key do you think Mikko after last series kind of said that he felt he should have scored earlier in the series, maybe should have done more. How big is it to get him going with a goal early in the first for the rest of the series?
Well, it was huge. I think I loved his game for, especially at the start, first period, second period. I mean, it was a horse on the puck. He was hanging on to it. It seemed like everything was happening in slow motion for him. He was finding the open man all over the ice, a lot of heads up plays, defended well, breaks up some rush attack opportunities for Vegas, coming back with a good stick and identifying the open man where they look like they're going to slip some pucks into him. I mean, he made a difference on both sides of the puck right from the drop, the drop in the first period. So I thought that line was really good. He was outstanding.
Last one here, Michael Morial, NHL.com.
Hey, Jared, 2 quick ones here. First, if you have an update on Gerard, and second, was it at all surprising to you to see Leonard in net, and did that change anything for your group?
Gerard finished the game, so he's good. I'm not really surprised they went with Laner. They've been riding 2 guys all year. It's a lot of hockey, right? You're in a stretch run. I guess if you're looking at it from Vegas's perspective, you got confidence in both guys. Fleury's been carrying the load. They're playing important games down the stretch, trying to finish first, same as us. Then they go 7 games, and it's a long, hard-fought series. Rest is important, and they come out in this one after just playing the other night and fighting for that. There's an emotional toll and that it takes on players, and then to jump right into another series. They feel good about Laner. He's played well for them this year, so they went with them, and I'm sure at some point we'll see Fleury back in the net. But doesn't surprise me they went with another guy, especially the way they've been playing him over the last couple of years. It didn't really change anything for our group. Our mentality has to be the same. There's a couple different points for each of those guys that we address with our team, but besides that, it's business as usual, regardless of who's in the net.
All right. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.